Just as we came on air, I heard the Breakfast Lads talking about it briefly. Arteta at your old club Arsenal signs a new deal until 2025. Does he deserve it?
Well, if you look at it, I thought Ray answered the question well in terms of saying that, does it really matter? They don't want any uncertainty at the football club. They've just lost 3 games and won 3 games. I thought maybe they might have waited to the summer, because obviously we're now at a little bit of a crossroads, huge game coming up, but they obviously feel that there's no desire really for any change, happy with the progression, wanting to give him far more time than Emery was allowed, the last manager. And I think they're right.
Are they right? Have you seen enough progression under him?
I probably would have waited to the summer and taken a look at it.
Why?
But
why not now then? Why would you have waited till the summer?
Well, perhaps there was a clamour for the manager from other clubs. We don't know what's happening internally. They wanted to meet his needs, felt no reason for any kind of change. I don't know how long these talks have taken place, as I say, but we could have been looking at a very different situation if they hadn't beat Chelsea, Manchester United and West Ham all in 1 week. If they'd have suddenly been announcing after losing those games, it might have been a different situation. So, no, I mean, I think it's good for the players, get it settled in, get the man in place. Klopp has just signed a new contract to Liverpool. Okay, you might say he's more deserving, but nonetheless, the person in charge has to be looked after. That needs to be resolved. Otherwise, you make change. And Arsenal planning for the long term. But it's the start of it feels like it's at the start of a journey, really, for Arteta.
Do you think this is the start of a journey for Arsenal under Arteta, Simon? You once said Arteta's all theory.
I also once said that I thought he was a very good choice. And in the middle of it, when he was losing his way, I began to become concerned about the concept of theory and practice. I think the green shoots of recovery are what they've invested in. It's really academic, because if at the end of next year they stink the place out, he'll get fired and he'll get more money out of a contract. I always felt that at the end of this year, irrespective of whether they finish 4th or 5th, there was enough about his management, enough about his grasping of the nettle, and decision-making, right or wrong, there were decision-makings, which was what managers have to do. I felt that he'd earned another year, at least in the merry-go-round. And that's what will happen. If Arsenal progress next year, then he'll be in situ. If they have a terrible season next year and they don't progress, all that will happen is he'll get more money out of getting sacked. So I think it means very little.
But this is huge. Means very little. I mean, it's massive endorsements of Arteta, surely.
Well, it's a massive
and the job he's trying to do.
It's a massive endorsement of Arteta in terms of protecting him under a contract, but it won't alter the landscape. If Arsenal finish 8th next year in the league, do you think that Arteta will be in situ at the end of next season? I think probably not.
You think probably not,
can't,
Martin?
No, I mean, we've just had 2 8th play finishes from the manager. So if that were to happen again, no, I don't think he'd expect to be in the job. But at the moment, if you look at it where we are right now, Arsenal are going after 4th place. They sit in that position. They're 2 points clear of Spurs. This weekend is a huge opportunity to maybe get a cushion of 5 points. Okay, they're playing against Leeds United, who are fighting, scrapping for their lives.
Yeah.
What an astonishing situation we have, by the way, at the bottom of the table. We've never seen anything like it.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Never seen anything like it. Leeds have got to wake up.
Did you always back Arteta, Martin? From the word go, did you, as an Arsenal Invincible,
I'm always pleased
to
see
he's my man?
I'm always pleased to see ex-players, as you know, get the opportunity to do a top job. He won an FA Cup very early in his tenure. It seemed like there was a difficult road at the start of the season. They lost the first 3 games.
You thought he was too harsh on Aubameyang?
I still do. But Nketiah, although the manager has said it himself, he backs up with everything he says. He said, look, he's been unkind to the player. He should have played more. I was feeling that Nketiah, if he's not good enough, you've got to play him. You needed that threat behind. He's been quite a revelation in those last 3 games. Arsenal are still very light, and the transfer market needs to be a really good one this summer as well, because they need to add important players. And at moments, in key moments, Tavares has had a difficult period. The manager's gone back to him, and they've now started to respond. But these are huge games coming up, Jim.
Yeah.
Because if Arsenal make it back into the Champions League, they're back into... It's the holy grail of football. We're watching it all week. It's an amazing thing, a competition to be a part of.
Otherwise, what was the last 2.5 years for? Arteta hasn't fallen foul of the media. He hasn't fallen foul of the Arsenal hierarchy. He isn't an object of ridicule that Unai Emery became. And when you look at Unai Emery's career, you wonder why it was allowed to go that way, but that's a different discussion. Arsenal, whichever way they look at it, the worst they can do is probably finish 5th. And if you look at that and say, OK, there will be a narrative. If Tottenham nick it from them, there'll be a narrative of dissenting people saying, hang on a second, you lose it to Tottenham and we give you a new contract. But I think there are more reasons to have kept him in a job. It's very easy to take people out of a job. As we're seeing, for people like Man United, the idea of who you put in their place is much a bigger conundrum.
It's recruitment, isn't it, though? I mean, when we look now, the standard bearer is Liverpool. the way that they're putting those players together.
Yeah. You watching the good, the bad and the ugly?
No.
Alrighty. So now we know Arteta has signed a new contract with Arsenal until 2025. Is the club right to give him this? Is the timing right to give him it? And are the Gunners showing enough progress for him to be deserving of a new deal?
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Thursday morning, 10 till 1. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.